Hello to all of you. My name is Kavisha Chandraratne. I was the concertmaster of the Royal College Western Orchestra in 2018 and 2019. And currently, I'm a undergraduate at the University of New South Wales in Sydney, Australia. And I have a couple of questions in front of me that I was asked to answer. Um, the second question is, how did you start your musical journey? How I started playing the violin is, I suppose, similar to a lot of your own stories. I was in grade 4 or 5, and Mrs. Priyanti Sudhasinger, the teacher in charge of the Western Music Society, introduced us to the instruments and got us to play for the Junior Western Orchestra. And that's where the spark happened. And then in a few years, she gave me the opportunity to play for the National Youth Orchestra. Also, she introduced me to the teaching charge there, um, and that was really my first exposure to a full-scale symphonic orchestra. Yeah. What was the atmosphere when the orchestra was revived? I mean, that was a really special time. We were all asked to come for a meeting where we were told that we are planning on starting a full orchestra for the school, and that we'll be starting rehearsals recently. And I still remember during the first rehearsal seeing all of the players bringing in their instruments and sitting down, and um, you see all the tuba players and the double bass player and all the cellists, and you see an army of violins. And I remember being so excited back then and thinking, well, it's not as coincidental as I thought it was. This has been a plan that has been worked at for a while. So that was the impression that I got. I became the concertmaster just after the 2017 concert, and that was an interesting time in the orchestra because you had a lot of the founding members um, playing for the 2017 concert in some form or another. So we had um, Srimal as the principal conductor, um, and we had, of course, Professor Ajit Abhisekara as the as another conductor, and we had a guest conductor called Bernard Washu, who conducted a couple of pieces as well, and Nisal Jinadasa was the concertmaster. And it's a really fun period in my life as well because I had the privilege of being his uh, associate, so the associate concertmaster, and he is an extremely good player uh, and one of the best back then. And just being next to him and playing next to him every day and learning from him and learning from Shrima was an amazing experience. So, um, and the orchestra was really um, at its peak, at least during that period, it was at its peak in 2017 because just the size of it and really the number of people, number of highly skilled people that we had in the team back then. And we had an amazing concert as well in 2017. And just after the concert, by circumstance, a lot of these people had to leave because, of course, they were graduating and they had the A levels and all of that. The challenge for me and Jitnu Kasamaraveera, who was the conductor at the time, was really the changing composition of the orchestra because now instead of having a ton of experienced players who were really skilled in their own instruments. We had a lot of young people who were really passionate about being a part of the orchestra. So we had to find a nice balance um, where but where you're still keeping the younger players interested in coming for rehearsals, and also maintaining a standard that the orchestra was known to have. And it was really a blessing in disguise, because over those 2 years we had the opportunity to play for a lot of different events, and expose the players to a lot of different circumstances um, where we would perform. And also, we had a round of auditions where we invited and encouraged students from all over the school to come in and for us to see where they stand in terms of how good they are. And and we were able to expand the base of the orchestra by a good amount, and I think that made uh, the community a bit broader, and that's something that I'm really proud of that we were able to do. How did I balance my schoolwork while playing the violin? I mean, it was a bit difficult, but I think as long as you understand your priorities and you try to come up with a reason and purpose as to why you're doing a particular thing, and I think this may be more general life advice as well. Um, I think it's quite easy to find a nice balance that where you optimize um, um, what you add to your life. So studies are of course extremely important because it allows you to pursue a career that you're passionate about, and that enables you to have a positive impact on society and all of that, right? And I think orchestra and choir or any other sport that you participate in is a pretty integral part of that learning experience, and it allows you to be the person uh, that you want to be when you're all grown up. So I don't think it stops you from getting there. It catapults um, you into the type of person that you would want to be. And I think it would never be a problem if you as an individual understand what you want and what you value. Um, and then you take the responsibility for the consequences as well. And then finding a balance between orchestra um, and schoolwork or anything else is really um, um, not that daunting. It's still a challenge, but it's easy for you to figure it out yourself. I think the best memories were um, playing alongside these guys who are extremely talented. Um, for example, Nisal Jinadasa was the concert master, and when I was his associate concert master for a couple of years, I had the privilege of being next to one of the best players in Sri Lanka at the time, and it was just like, to me it was just a masterclass during every rehearsal. So that was probably that was amazing. That was such a great experience. And also my associate concert master Mahasen Veerasinghe, who was the concert master after me, um, was my desk partner at the National Youth Orchestra and the Junior Symphony Orchestra and the Symphony Orchestra at the same time. So I would see this guy almost every day for a long period. So you really get to know people. And Kavisha Parnavitan and Senal Hemakumara were also playing first violin when I just joined. So those guys were also some of the best players in the country. So I think also with Srimal as the conductor, those rehearsals were just really, really something special and something that I think of. And of course, Jitnuka and I spent a lot of time just trying to get the momentum going back and managing all the stakeholders. And Jitnuka and I also had a fun time, uh, fun 2 years getting putting the pieces together. And yeah, and uh, I think these experiences not only made us more aware of the world, but they really make us really long for the school years. Yeah, so um, good times. I mean, I am super happy with where the orchestra is today. You guys sound amazing. I saw a couple of recordings of the last concert, and it sounds really good. I was super amazed, and I was listening to it recently as well. And one of the things that I was surprised and something that I was a little worried about was COVID, because during COVID you can't have rehearsals, and when you don't have rehearsals for a couple of months, you really see the quality and the cohesion of the orchestra deteriorating over time. And that's a real serious threat, because it's really hard to get the momentum back going after a couple of months of not performing together. So the fact that you guys were able to get the orchestra together um, and introduce new players, because you probably had a lot of guys who were leaving school. So introducing these instruments to younger players, getting them to be good, and putting everything together, scheduling rehearsals, and then having a concert, which was really of high standard, was something that's amazing. I mean, I'm super proud of you guys, and yeah, super impressed, and not that worried now. So it's a good feeling. Do I still follow music? Yeah, of course. I think playing for an orchestra for a couple of years really makes you appreciate all types of music to a greater depth, because you understand the complexities involved, and um, why something is a good piece of music. And I try to pop in for concerts here and there. They have the opera house here, so I have the privilege of going for uh, concerts there. And um, yeah, so I try to keep up with music, of course, but now it doesn't take a center stage in my life because I'm busy with uni. Um, yeah. Any advice you would give to the current orchestra members? I mean, not really. I think you guys are doing a pretty good job. So there's not really a lot for me to say, except for maybe asking you guys to show up for rehearsals more often. I don't know the particular case these days, but I remember back then, for us, it was always an uphill struggle, because everyone has their other commitments. Um, it's about striking a balance. But I guess showing up for rehearsals is a good thing. And even if you can't show up, I think maybe communicating that to uh, the guys who are running it, Meth and Shakya, might help them. And any other, in terms of other advice, I mean, I think Shakya and Meth are doing a amazing job. And I've known them for ages, maybe more than 10 years. and both of them I remember being really good players and just good blokes. And um, so I'm really proud of where the orchestra is right now. You guys sound amazing, which is really hard. And also, I think there's a really good vibe going on. So, my advice would be to just keep it going, um, show up for rehearsals, and keep a happy vibe going. Don't worry about. Let's say you guys sound a little bad. Don't worry too much about that because you're a school orchestra. You're not a professional performing orchestra. School orchestras are the reason why it's so amazing to see a school orchestra is the fact that it's there. You've already won half of the battle, so just be proud of yourself that you're showing up um, and um, and keep a good vibe going, keep it classy. I think that's really important because it really speaks to the quality of work that you're doing, and you can pay homage to the people who have contributed to classical music and music in general. So I think that's important. That's pretty much all the advice that I have to give, but I would still like to take this opportunity to pay tribute to an extremely extraordinary person who has been the driving force of the orchestra since its inception. Because it's not easy to start an orchestra uh, because you need the full orchestra from day one. You can't have half of an orchestra and then agree to build upon that over the next couple of years. And it's something that requires planning and a big commitment over a lot of time. So Mrs. Priyanti Sudhusingha, or as we fondly call her, Priyanti Miss, has been an extraordinary force in so many um, current and old royalists' lives. And I'm sure I'm not the first person to pay appreciate what she has done. You probably can find hundreds of old royalists who share my sentiment. But because I'm saying this because this particular thing has had such an important and positive impact on my life, and it's only and that's just me, and it was only possible because of the commitment that she had over those years. And I mean, you meet amazing teachers over your time at a school like Royal, but someone like her is um, extremely rare, and it was such a privilege to be a student of hers and be someone under her wing. So that's something that I appreciate to this day. Um, and to the rest of the orchestra, just don't worry about anything. Don't worry about, I mean, try to keep your standard high, try to make everything sound good. Um, but don't worry about how it sounds too much. Just make sure you come for rehearsals. Just make sure you spend a lot of time with everyone. And keep it classy, like I said, and just enjoy your time. I mean, um, this is going to help define you as a person and help you navigate problems that you will face in the future. So um, yeah, so that's pretty much it. I mean, enjoy your time, I guess. That's all I had to say. All right. See you guys.